big picture. Just be nice and smooth here. This podcast covers all things motorsports. It's unfiltered, it's
Nope,
unfast,
nope, nope.
Give me everything you got. Big picture here today, buddy. Big picture. Just be nice and smooth here. This podcast covers all things motorsports. It's unfiltered, it's unfast, and
Welcome to episode 16 of the Fuel Pod. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Y'all
all up
gonna
in
make
here.
me lose my... Oh,
Yeah.
They don't want to hear me sing, do they?
No, me neither.
Why?
I don't know. Who
I'm
knows?
a good singer.
Oh no, I was talking about me. We
Oh,
know
okay.
why we don't want to hear you sing. But
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. So, Jay, what are we talking about today? Man, I missed a week. I came back refreshed. You and Eric did a great job. You talked smack about my vacations, which was not real cool, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a good week. I missed a week. I feel weird. There wasn't an F1 race this week.
No.
I don't know. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're gonna talk about a lot of things. And yes, we did talk trash about your vacation, but we gave your brother props for starting Drive to Survive.
Yeah?
And we talked about we trash talked Ferrari a little bit, so stuff that still would have made you happy.
Good.
So-
Good.
But this week we're going to talk about, obviously in Formula One we got the French Grand Prix coming up, so we're going to talk about that.
It's one of my favorite tracks.
We're going to do some rumors and scuttlebutt and stuff about F1 because there's always days of our lives drama in Formula One.
Always.
I'm sure you've got some NASCAR tidbits that'll be fun to go over.
I do. There was some breaking news with NASCAR today.
Okay.
This week.
And then we're going to talk about the World Rally Championships in Estonia this past weekend and how nobody can touch Toyota, apparently. And we've got a lot of GT World information. There's not a whole lot going on this weekend except for GT World Challenge America and GT4, but we'll get to that. And then,
Awesome.
Then we'll finish it out, man.
Well, I'm excited, man. It's another Fuel podcast with Jay and Chad, and I'm super pumped, man.
Let's do it.
So where are
man.
we starting at?
Let's start with news from the paddock.
News from the paddock.
Before we head into the French Grand Prix, this
Okay.
is Lewis. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I was disrespectful. This is Sir Lewis Hamilton's 300th Grand Prix. And like him, hate him, think he's the GOAT, don't think he's the GOAT, 300 Grand Prix is quite an accomplishment.
That's insane.
And my hat goes off to him for that. So,
My hat's on.
yeah.
I can't take it off, but my hat would be off
Yeah.
to him. So before you start in there, man, I don't know if you saw this, and I didn't know this was your top lead story tonight.
Yeah.
Did you see, first off, do you think Lewis Hamilton's going to get a win this year?
Yes.
Okay. So did you see it's been 30 straight years? Did you see this tweet?
No.
30 straight years, a Schumacher or a Hamilton has won. 30 straight years.
You mean in every race or?
At some point during the year,
Okay.
a Michael Schumacher
Okay.
or Lewis Hamilton has won a race.
Okay.
For
That's crazy.
30 straight years.
That's-
ESPN F1 tweeted that out today, and I thought that was a pretty crazy
Holy
stat.
crap,
So,
ESPN what? ESPN had the cool stats this week. Okay.
so what are we halfway through the season? We're about to hit summer break.
Well, we're at 11 rounds in,
Out of
22.
we're halfway.
Yes,
So, is Lewis going to continue that streak?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he'll get one this year. So I think he'll get more than one this year, but we'll see. We're coming into some pretty decent races that I know he enjoys running.
I think Silverstone might have been his shot,
Yeah.
and he didn't get it.
Oh, you're saying it was his one shot,
He
his
is,
one opportunity.
He is
to
not.
seize everything he ever wanted.
Yeah, he's got mom's spaghetti.
Yeah.
No, I just he hasn't been real competitive. I know he's got 3 podiums in a row,
Yeah.
but those 3 podiums, I mean, one of them was Carlos Sainz going out.
Okay.
He should have won Silverstone, and then what was the one before? I don't remember off the top of my head. But what I'm saying is, it's not like he's out dominating getting these podiums.
Okay.
So I don't know that he's going to get a W this year, man.
Okay, so anybody can take their favorite driver that wins a race and
Yeah.
probably look at the rest of the field and say, well, if so-and-so hadn't done this and so-and-so hadn't done that.
For sure. But, I mean, he was not going to be on the podium until Carlos Sainz catches on fire.
You know what really, really, really digs into your argument is the fact that you like his teammate. You know,
Love his teammate.
normally when you like a certain driver, you would support the other teammate just for the fact they're on the same team.
Well, it's one of the reasons I haven't bought a Red Bull hat is
Yeah.
because I know as soon as Lewis Hamilton is not with Mercedes, I'm all George Russell and Mercedes. I know.
Oh,
The
God.
second Lewis Hamilton retires,
So good.
I'm switching teams, man. I'm just right now. The only reason I like Max so much is because he was Lewis's biggest rival. You got to choose one or the other. When it comes to the
You really
championship,
don't.
Well, you don't. But I mean, when you're going for the championship, you want. And I like Christian Horner. I like Checo. And your next item on here is more important to me than Max Verstappen.
Okay.
So we can move on. But
And just so you know, because you don't have to root for Max or Lewis, Esteban Ocon's grandstand section for the French Grand Prix, because this is also his home race, is sold out in 15 seconds.
Wow.
Esteban Ocon.
That's impressive.
15 seconds sold out.
That's impressive.
I'm sure Pierre Gasly sold out pretty quick too, but the only one I had the stat on was Ocon, and to be fair, that was the most shocking one, really.
That is shocking.
Yeah. So
okay.
Next item on here is Checo Perez, who is the only Red Bull driver I like. He's not the only Red Bull team member I like, but yeah, Checo is saying he can still win it all.
I think he absolutely can.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if he'll be able to. I don't know if they're going to give him the opportunity to. But as I've said all year long, you go into the race open-armed, and whoever wins, wins. I think Checo's got a puncher's chance with anybody.
Well, and I think it all goes to the any given Sunday theory. But,
yeah,
a 57-point deficit with 11 races to go, if Max or Charles have a couple of DNFs and he comes in first, and gets fastest lap, look at it this way: 2 wins with 2 fastest laps is 56 points.
Yeah.
So no, it's 52 points. Sorry, but yeah,
you would love to say, well, what are the odds of Charles and Max having a DNF? Well, I mean, they've had them all year.
Yeah,
they've had them all year. I mean, Charles has a couple. Max had another. I mean, he's had 2, and then he had a terrible race with the piece of the AlphaTauri in his car.
Right.
I mean, this has been a weird year. I mean, if Checo's going to win it, this is the year.
Yeah.
I think this is the year. It just seems more wide open this year than ever before.
Well, let's throw some devil's advocate and some pixie dust his way by saying devil's advocate being he's had 2 DNFs in the last 3 races.
Okay.
Not good.
Not good.
His pixie dust hope is he was a podium winner or a podium member last year at France.
Wow.
And where are we this weekend?
Oh, we're in France.
So
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I think he's got a shot. But he really needs all the planets to line up and the cosmos to be in his favor. But I think he's got a chance.
Yeah, it would be, it would be cool to see him win.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be cool to see him win. Go ahead.
No. Do you have any more on that one?
No, I don't have any more on that one. I did have, but let's just keep moving on.
Okay.
We'll move on with your, with what you got going on here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to interject because I do have a discussion point here in a minute.
All right.
And I think it's going to be funny. So that's why. So who is this Nick? I can't say his last name.
Nick DeVries. And can you pass me that ink pen right there?
I should have 100% just sounded that out. See the ink pen?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, sorry.
So Nick DeVries is a member of the Mercedes reserve driver, test driver program. He's young.
Okay.
And he is going to be replacing Lewis Hamilton in free practice 1 at France. Of course, the rumor mill went nutty. And
well, of course
that's why I put on here, hold your horses. He's done it before. He replaced Alex Albon in the Williams at Spain. And, they use a Mercedes. So a lot of these teams that use the same power unit, they'll have drivers that they switch in.
Is that normal?
Yes, it's very normal.
So that seems odd to me because I can't imagine NASCAR being like, hey, man, we're going to give this guy in the Busch Series or the Nationwide Series or Xfinity Series or whatever it is now a shot. He's going to come up here and he's going to run Chase Elliott's car for a little bit. Chase Elliott's car for a little bit. And, he's just going to practice.
Well, first off, that's an American series where, as Americans, we're fiercely territorial.
Yeah, it just seems really weird that he's going to go out there and practice the car.
And it's more about the car than the actual driver when we're talking about Formula One.
And I guess Lewis Hamilton probably knows that track pretty well.
Yeah, and he does.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be there for FP2 and 3 anyway. So, and Toto had to address it by saying every team does this. He's part of our young driver program. He tested for us a little bit in Spain at the beginning of the year. He drove for Albon. He's going to drive for Lewis for 1 practice session. So anyway,
that's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I didn't know they did that. That's pretty neat.
Lastly is Gasly for me. He is thinking he's going to have a pretty decent performance this weekend. First off, it's his home race.
Yeah.
Like Ocon's because they're both from France. He's currently 13th in the driver's standings, but AlphaTauri introduced a new aero package. Here's the weird thing about the article that I read. Absolute crazy weird thing. And it's not abnormal, but they didn't mention that Sonoda is getting the same aero package.
Why?
Just that Gasly. And maybe Gasly was just talking about himself.
Yeah.
But, normally they would say, hey, yeah, we're introducing a new aero package for our team.
On both cars
On
or
both cars.
whatever.
And again, it's not abnormal for teams to try something out on one car and leave the other car the same as a control group, right?
Yeah.
So Haas did it before with Romain Grosjean and went back to a different spec car, an older spec car. Of course, they ended up wrecking each other out in the race anyway,
Shocker.
so no big deal. But, yeah, he's going to run a new aero package this weekend for AlphaTauri. So I kind of look forward. I like Pierre Gasly, man.
I do
And,
too.
I want to see him successful. And it's sad for me some ways because I know he is better than that car.
Yeah, I wish he would get another shot at a top-tier car. I was really hoping that, we talked about the rumor mill and silly season, and would he get a shot at McLaren?
Right.
I really wish that would happen.
Well, there's 35 other drivers that are getting a shot at McLaren according to the media, but that's neither here nor there.
That's one of the things I had written down is what an odd year for McLaren. And I don't want to like swipe us too much here.
Yeah.
But man, I'm just going to.
I have a whole piece on it when we get down here anyway.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah. So I do too. It's just been a really, really, really weird year for McLaren.
Okay.
I think.
And I agree. And the stuff we just went over was just actual factual news.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the rumor mill and scuttlebutt.
I love rumor mills.
Yeah, me too. I like rousing rabbles. But so the first one is Max Verstappen and I have something in common, and I couldn't believe it. His favorite track is Spa de Francorchamps.
Really?
Yes, which is also my favorite track. I love that track.
Yeah. No.
But I just, other than that, Max and I are like polar opposites. One, he's an extremely popular F1 driver. I'm not, but, he's kind of an anger management, walking anger management issue, and I'm not. So, but still, he loves, and he was talking about this from the aspect that we might lose Spa next year.
Really? Are we just going to lose every track?
No, I mean,
what are we going to do?
It feels like we're losing signature tracks, but
I mean, we just talked about majors in F1, and I don't know if you mentioned Spa as one.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, we can't lose Spa.
Right.
And I don't even like Spa.
I love
at
Spa.
all.
I love Spa, which is our very first race after the summer break.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about summer break for just a second, because I bet a lot of listeners may not know what summer break is.
Okay.
So what is summer break, Jay?
Basically, it's a 3-week break. Lets them get a chance that it's halfway through the season. They can refresh, and go on a vacation. And a lot of them do promo stuff during that time or charity work or whatnot.
So it's a good way to go out and engage.
Yeah. Unless you're Lando Norris, he'll probably be on Twitch the entire time they're on summer break, still driving F1 cars.
That's one of the things, and we talked about this, is should NASCAR do this?
Yes.
Because they have a chance to take a break, work on their cars, go out and engage with the fans, build the sport's popularity. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Now, I don't recommend that they schedule their summer break the same time as F1 because that would be boring, but they need to do something.
Yeah, I don't have a problem admitting that NASCAR's drivers are probably the hardest working drivers in any racing series.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, they get like 3 breaks a year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they're done, I mean, they finish up in like December.
Right. And
end of
back
November.
at it February.
And they're back at it in February. I mean, you get a couple of months off. It's ridiculous.
Now, granted, F1, and Christian Horner said this best in Drive to Survive, and he's absolutely correct. He's like, it's not like we finished Abu Dhabi and everybody just goes home for the holiday,
Well, but they don't have to be at the racetrack every week. They're at home at night.
And
they're sleeping in their bed.
That time is when the engineers probably work harder than they work all year.
Yeah.
That off season.
Drivers are in simulators and trying to get sponsorships.
Right.
And I mean, I get it, but you are sleeping in your own bed every night.
Yeah.
There's a big difference there.
So anyway, that's what he made that comment about Spa. And, it just makes me wonder, you got Spa on the chopping block. You got Monaco on the chopping block. Of course, this is rumors and scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
So nothing definitive there.
For sure.
The other piece I had is that Fernando Alonso wants Alpine working on the 2023 car.
Okay.
And anybody that knows anything about Alonso, and I love him, I do.
One of the best drivers in the world.
When he's on a team, what Alonso says needs to happen, or Alonso's not going to be on that team.
Really?
Yes. It was like that at McLaren. Everybody thought that. It was like that at Renault. So I don't know much about his Ferrari career as much, but basically, it's Team Fernando when he's on a team. So I imagine if he tells them they need to start looking at the 2023 car, then they probably should, as Joe would say, they need to start working on the 2023.
Is he a future team principal?
Who?
Fernando Alonso.
I could see. I don't think he'll go that route. Would he make a good one? Probably. Is he going to be very hard in front? Yes.
Do they have? Does that happen very often where drivers are?
Well, Christian Horner.
Was he a former driver?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now Gunter Steiner, he was a mechanic.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. So that seems like that's the way that you would move through that.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my discussion points, since you mentioned Gunther, is who's your favorite team principal and why is it Gunther? Because he's the best.
Who's your favorite team? You really didn't ask the question there. It's who's your favorite team principal and why is it Gunther?
Because Gunther's amazing.
Yeah.
Kevin and I were talking about that this week, is how awesome Gunther is. So
yeah.
All right. So since we're talking about rumor mill and silly season, who doesn't have a ride for next year right now?
So Sonoda, I caught wind of this today. Again, rumors and scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
But, he might be without a seat.
I mean, it makes
I put
sense.
in here he might be without a seat when the music stops for 2023, but
I really like Sonoda, but I get it.
Man.
I mean, I get it.
In fact, this is what's weird to me is Joe Guan Yu, and I've started to really like Joe Guan Yu. He's got a great attitude, and he's a good guy. He's going to absolutely retain his seat at Alfa Romeo.
Okay.
For sure. And
did he bring a sponsorship or something?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
But Sonoda might be out of a seat, man. So
do you think he'll land somewhere else? I mean, I can't imagine being out at AlphaTauri. Where do you go?
Most of the teams have been locked in, and I really think it's going to come down to McLaren. I think McLaren is going to determine where everybody ends up next year.
Okay, so do we have a minute here? I just want to run through this. Okay, so we got Checo and Max at Red Bull.
Right.
We don't know about Lewis and George Russell at Mercedes.
We know Russell's locked in.
Yeah, and Hamilton's locked in through next year.
Yeah.
But he may retire.
Yeah.
Ferrari, they're both signed and ready to go.
Yeah.
McLaren, there's a question mark with Ricardo.
Even though, according to McLaren, they're both locked in at least through the end of 2023.
I don't believe that. It's part of my.
Okay.
There's too many comments coming out everywhere. I mean, we talked about how there was an escape clause in a contract.
Yeah, it's almost like when the U.S. has national security leaks and the place is leaking like a ship. You know what I'm saying? And there's just nothing they can do. And finally, they just got to go, yes, there are aliens in Roswell. You know?
I mean, you made a comment and then you came back and said it was out of context like a month later, which was ridiculous. You've got all of the, I've got, hold on, where did I put that? We've had exit mechanisms, then comebacks and commit to him.
Right.
And then now they're talking about Vettel, possibly.
Yeah, that's who I had down here.
So okay. We went to McLaren, Alpine. Who's on Alpine? Are they both locked in?
Esteban Ocon's locked in. Alonso's locked in, although he's also been mentioned for the McLaren seat.
Okay, so, I mean, McLaren, you're right. McLaren holds the linchpin here.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Alonso, and this is why it's definitely rumor and scuttlebutt, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's been at McLaren. He was done with McLaren when he left. It
so he's
forced
not
him
go
into
back.
retirement once, yes.
So my question, though, is
Albon.
And I really like Alex Albon. Again, Kevin and I, my brother Kevin and I, he's getting into Drive to Survive, so I get a chance to talk to him about it a little bit. And I'm like, have you seen the episode where Lewis takes him out twice?
Yeah.
And he hadn't gotten there yet.
Okay.
And I'm like, you will love Alex Albon.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he just didn't get a fair shot. I really do think that if Lewis doesn't do that, he may have finished out the year and may still be with Red Bull.
But again, rumors, but Albon has been mentioned in that McLaren vein. And
I would be okay with that.
Back to your original statement about Yuki Tsunoda, where could he end up? He could end up at Williams.
Yeah.
But only if Albon's out.
Poor you.
Because Latifi, love him, hate him, whatever, is not leaving. And I'll tell you why. The Sofina that's written on the rear wing, that's his dad's company.
But what's funny is I saw something about him maybe being out of a seat.
Well, they'd have to be willing to lose the money, and Williams doesn't have money to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting basically nothing once the Constructors' Championship comes out.
Okay. Well,
so
hey, at least they scored points this year.
Yeah, true.
They got 3. Man. Okay, so preview Do we want to move towards preview? Or do we have more?
Yeah, I
scuttlebutt?
think I think
You
we're
sure?
good on the rumors because I want Danny Rick to keep his seat, so I
do
really
too.
don't want to get that into.
What is your projection though? What do you think is going to happen? What is Jay right here on the Fuel Podcast think's going to happen?
I think Danny Rick keeps his seat.
Yeah.
So there's 11 races left. Some of Danny's best tracks are coming up. I think he'd have to have, and I mean a pivotal, chaotic meltdown.
Yeah.
I think before they would let him go this year.
I think I agree with you. I think it makes sense for him to hold on to his
Plus,
seat.
from a money standpoint, I'm pretty sure they'd have to buy out his contract since they do have him locked in for 2023.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of contracts ending next year.
yeah.
So next year may really be a silly season.
Well, 2 years is the standard format pretty much for a driver.
Yeah.
So, and that when they announced Leclerc in 2019 was getting a 5-year contract with
That was a
Ferrari,
big
that
deal.
was a huge deal.
I mean, on Drive to Survive, everybody got text messages. Remember that?
yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So,
I'm good with that.
okay.
I think Danny's going to keep his seat, and I think next year might get crazy.
Yeah.
But
So we do have Circuit Paul Ricard, La Castellette coming up this weekend in France.
Okay.
The track itself, we're just a little bit about the track. We usually don't go over this stuff, so it's kind of cool stuff. But it's characterized by its 1.1 mile Mistral straight. And I know you go crazy about the names of the turns and straights, but it's called the Mistral Straight. It's 1.1 miles, which is one of the longer ones.
yeah,
In F1, 1.8K if you're over across the pond.
that's a good DRS zone.
Yeah. It's the flattest track on the calendar. An interesting fact, it was built on a plateau. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
So there's only 40 meters of elevation difference on the
look
whole
at
complex.
Jay bringing the facts today.
Yeah. So also another fun fact, there are and you've been there, so you know how crazy the stripes are.
Yes.
At
Yes.
France. So there are 167 possible track configurations.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, let that sink in. So it's anywhere from a half mile to the 5.2, 5.8 miles that the F1 GP is. So
That's impressive.
yeah, it's nuts. There are 2 DRS zones coming out of turn 7 and turn 15. So, that's cool. Some tracks only have 1. Some of them have 3 now.
Yeah.
And the lap record is held by Sebastian Vettel, 2019, of 132.7.
That was a lot of information.
Yeah. But here's my last thing, and I want you to remember I said this on here.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about it next week. Pirelli, who picks the tire compounds, but not, and most people think it's just soft, medium, and hard. But within each one of those, there's different levels of the hard and softness, right?
Yeah.
So they have like a C2 and a C4 for, whatever it is. But Pirelli opted to go with the same tire compounds they used in Miami.
Really?
So let's flash back to Miami.
Because I had a little bit of discussion about the track there and the glass and.
Well, yeah, and I think that might change what I was talking about, and you're right. But all day they kept saying that this track is tearing these tires up because it was hot. There was so much heat. So I really think France is going to come down to the weather on Sunday.
Have you seen a weather forecast?
I haven't, but we just ran GT World Challenge there a month ago, and it was record temperature heat. Yes.
I think it's record temperature everywhere here right now. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah, we've got record temperatures.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want you to remember I said something about the Pirelli compounds because if we get it here next week and that race came down to who could keep their tires on, that's going to be a huge deal.
Okay.
So
That's awesome.
anyway, man, that's all I had on F1, unless you had anything.
Man, I'm sure I'll think of something here in a little bit, but I feel again it's been 2 weeks since I've done this,
Yeah.
so I feel a little off.
Yeah.
I can't, I feel like and I'm also I don't know if you guys can see it on our video, but I've got a microphone boom in my face. So Jay is like there's like 3 of Jay, so that's taking up a little bit of my brain.
Gotcha.
But so NASCAR, we're gonna
Okay.
move into the New Hampshire the race. Christopher Bell got the win. If you remember, he was 16th in points. So he gets a win. He is now the 14th.
I was going to ask if he's another new winner.
He is the 14th driver. So we've had 20 races. He's the 14th new driver. So it's happened 5 times in history. Only the 5th time in history that there's been 14 winners through 20 races. So next week, now we have 2 playoff spots left that don't have wins. 2. So if we get another new winner, and we're at Pocono this week, this is going to get real interesting. because we still have a lot of races left and 2 more winners. And then if we get 3 more winners, somebody with a win's getting knocked out of the playoffs, which is the whole thing is win and you're in. So what happened? You know what I mean? Then it's going to go on points. It's going to be a wild. It's going to be crazy.
You know what? You know what it's starting to remind me of? It's starting to remind me of college football.
Yeah.
When you'd have, 4 or 5 teams with undefeated records, and then they would do the whole, well, your conference is weak, so you don't get it.
Yeah.
Or
we'd strength of schedule.
Or we'd have split national titles, and it would tick off, both teams.
Half the country, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Harvick was really strong. He's another driver without a win.
Okay.
He's 15th in points, I think, right now. So he had a really good car, made a pit decision, went with 2 tires instead of 4, and just couldn't catch up.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a good race. I watched half of it probably ish. It's a pretty good race. I watched the highlights. And one of the things that was on the highlights is this is 2 times in a row now. We talked about Noah Gragson a couple of weeks ago, just mad turning right into a car. What happened again this week in the Cup Series during a caution? Austin Dillon and Brad Keselowski are next to each other. And I never did hear the audio of what happened. I looked for it and couldn't find it. I don't know if anybody's even talking about it.
Okay.
But Austin Dillon just brings his car, and you can't see me, but just brings his car right up into Brad K's on the backstretch under caution for no reason. And Brad K loses his mind. Immediate turn
Brad
left.
K's trying to do.
Immediately just turns into him, wrecks him all the way down the backstretch, runs him off the track. It was crazy. But that's 2 weeks in a row, or 2 out of the last 3 weeks that we've had some issues. And it was just kind of a weird thing because you just never see that in motorsports. And we've seen it twice in a month where guys are just losing their mind and turning into people. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of news. So it was a good race. Bubba Wallace had a good race. He qualified well. He finished 3rd. Remember, this is the race, which I guess I was gone. So this is the second race of the 2 new pit teams.
Okay.
I can't think of the word I'm trying to say. But so Christopher Bell is the guy he swapped with, and he got the win. And Bubba Wallace finished 3rd. So maybe it's good for both teams. So that's good.
Who knows?
So a little bit of news, a couple of things real quickly before I do the big news. Ty Dillon found out today or a couple of days ago that he is out of the number 42 Richard Petty car. So it's kind of shocking. He hasn't done great, but it's just you don't hear of drivers getting fired very often in NASCAR.
Right.
And Kyle Busch has admitted that
he's retiring.
No, that they are.
On,
Joe Gibbs Racing keeps putting stuff out like it's really close
to retiring,
to signing a contract, and he came on and said, we're nowhere near that, and I've actually been engaging with other teams. So he's having conversations with other teams out there, which is, kind of shocking. I just assumed he would finish his career.
And retire.
Oh, my goodness, this guy. And then, so NASCAR yesterday put out break. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please retire. I don't know if you guys know out there in podcast and radio land that Jay does not like Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been a running theme. If you've gone back and listened to all our podcasts to catch up at this point, you'll know that Jay does not like Kyle Busch.
And that's an unfair statement because here's the thing. I don't know the guy personally. So I don't like him as a NASCAR driver. Let's go there. Let's be fair.
Oh, my goodness. Semantics.
Because I very well may see him at Applebee's and go, man, let's get a picture. But
I hope he decks you.
Yeah, he probably would.
So let's get back to the breaking news. NASCAR's breaking news.
Okay.
They are going to have a street race, straight F1 style, in downtown Chicago.
On the Mad Mile?
I don't know where it's at.
The Miracle Mile or whatever.
I think they're going to go out by the Ferris wheel and by the lake and everything. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I read there's 13 turns. So, it's going to be a pretty good little track in downtown Chicago. I think it's the first time in NASCAR history we've done this.
If they don't pick at least 1 or 2 of the bridges over the river, the humpback bridges, I'm out.
You're out. So what do you think? Do you think this is good? Do you think it's going to fall on its face? Is it?
Well, here's the thing. It has the potential to be great. It has the potential to breathe a little life into NASCAR because, a lot of people are getting away from oval racing. Let's just be fair. And, I think this is going to help out. I know the drivers don't like it. They'd rather be on ovals because it's what they know.
It's what they grew up doing.
Right? They're used to, okay, we're going to have 2 road courses. Let's just do the best we can, or 4 road courses and do the best we can.
And I don't know if the younger drivers like the road courses more. It seems like Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace was there for it.
Yeah.
Like the younger drivers maybe have grown up doing more road racing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the older guys hate it.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
You know, I'm sure they just absolutely hate it. I don't know. I think it's cool. I will definitely watch that race.
I mean, but to be fair, if you went to F1 and told them, hey, you got to run at least 4 ovals this year.
Oh, they would hate it.
Yes.
I mean, it's got to be boring.
Yeah.
Has to be.
And over in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I just thought that was cool. It's, you know, a little bit of a breaking news that, you know, NASCAR announced yesterday that they were going to do a street race. I just thought it was cool.
I do too, man. I think that's and depending on the weather, the funny thing about Chicago is that race would be cool whether it's bad weather or good weather because it's a cool looking town.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a really nice.
You'd have the doom and gloom coming off of the lake if it was rainy and
Yeah.
overcast. And then if it's sunny, you got the sun coming over Sears Tower and hitting the water, which is the dirtiest river in the country, even though it looks cool. But that'd be neat. That'd be a cool looking
Yeah, I think
track.
it's going to be really neat.
Yeah.
And then, so this is just, I don't know if it's a discussion point, but I thought something was really funny. Another podcast called Door Bumper Clear, and it is a NASCAR podcast.
Okay.
It's a couple of guys that are, I think they're on different pit crews, you know, tire changers or whatever, and they just have their own little podcast about NASCAR. They shared the fact that all NASCAR drivers, all, share a GroupMe account. They are all on one GroupMe chat. So that's got to be some interesting conversations between, like,
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, because you know they vent,
Yeah.
and you got Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain, and they're together.
At the end of the day, man, it's a work group.
Yeah.
Right?
But isn't that kind of interesting that you have all these guys in there in one group chat? And who knows how long it's been going on? But I mean, there's been some good rivalries in the last couple of years. Like I said, Brad Kay and Austin Dillon this weekend.
Yeah.
And you know Brad was hot. You know Austin was hot. He got ran into the grass.
I'd paid money to be a fly on the corner a week ago when Hamlin and Chastain
Again.
probably went into it.
I mean, and so, you know, you got all these guys that are sitting there and they can see everything. And who knows how much they talk? I don't know.
Right.
But in my head, I imagine it's a very active group. And I think it would be really fun to look at that.
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot of fun to read that for 10 minutes after a race.
Yeah, I bet.
But, you know, anyway, that's all I had on NASCAR this week. It was a good race. We got Pocono this week. Another chance for a new winner. I think 15 new winners in 21 races will be the record. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw that out there.
It's a really weird year.
It's all motorsports, at least the two that we cover, it's been a weird year.
Yeah.
It's been a really cool year and a really weird year, and it's been exactly what I wanted, though. I wanted it to be close. I didn't want it to be a blowout. It's been a fun year to be a motorsports fan for sure.
Yeah.
So what are we moving into, Jay?
Well, we had a World Rally this weekend in Estonia.
I actually got to watch some of the highlights of this.
I was so glad you did, man. I hope other people that have been listening to this have taken the opportunity at least to watch some highlight films. But anyway, Toyota absolutely dominating. Kalle Rovanperä again wins it.
Dude, he's like the GOAT, right?
Yeah, I mean he's kind of taken over for the Sebs.
5 wins this year?
Yeah,
I think
5
it's his
wins
fifth
out of
win,
7.
and he's only 21 years old, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and he didn't even get excited in his post-race interview.
No, he doesn't. Dude, he's from Finland. They don't.
mean,
yeah.
Like, this guy's a stud.
I mean, basically, we're talking about the Kimi Räikkönen of
Yeah.
rally. You know.
Yeah, very.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I won. Yes, I'm out of here. I'm done.
You would think at 21 years
questions.
old and you are running away with your series,
Yeah.
you would think you'd be pretty jazzed up.
Yeah, and
He just seems very confident, very quietly confident in himself.
and the Mad Brit Elvin Evans, also driving for Toyota, is just absolutely killing it.
They just hit something right this year, didn't they?
So yeah, he took 5 straight stages on Friday, right?
Yeah.
But then his weakness showed. It started raining.
Yeah.
It got not dry out
Got
there.
not dry.
And Rovanperã's like, move over, Junior. Let me show you how to do this. So he kind of finishes out Friday in the rain and pretty much dominated. Then he took 7 stage wins on Saturday.
Wow.
So I think he finished up the whole rally with like 12 or 13 stage wins out of like 21 or 22. So it was kind of sickening.
He just dominated.
The homeboy, the guy from Estonia, Oit Tanik, He finished third in the Hyundai, and Hyundai's coming on strong. I mean, they're doing, they came in as the new guy. Ford Puma was still kind of running it with Toyota, but they brought it in there, so that looked good. But as far as the standings go, Rovanpera's got an 83-point lead. And we're going to his home rally in Finland, which is
going to be a
my
win.
second favorite one. So it's going to be,
W.
you're going to want to watch that one. There's probably going to be snow. It's going to be pretty interesting.
That's awesome.
Evans, so the guy that was in second, Terry Neuville, at the beginning of the season, it felt like it could have went either way, Rovanpera, Neuville. But this Elvin Evans guy has made a surge.
Has a wonderful racing name.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Yeah. So it'd be better if the L wasn't even there and it was just F and Evans, but it's Elvin, so anyway.
I didn't see that one. That's awesome. That's even better.
But he's at 79 points. He's in third place. This isn't the year. This is Max Verstappen 2 years ago, basically. Yeah. So, and the Sebs, just as an alternate perspective, the Sebs, Sebastian Ogier and Sebastian Loeb, are in 7th and 8th. So
and these are the guys that kind of ran the sport the last couple of years, right?
They were the Lewis Hamiltons there for a while, right? So, but they're older.
Yeah.
And, this is a Twitch sport, not Twitch the app. Twitch, like you've got to have Twitch nerves going through some of these turns. And Estonia was already really narrow. So
it was a fun race to watch the highlights on.
Yeah.
The one thing I thought was crazy, and you and I talked about it a little bit, a car flipped over.
Right.
They thought they were done.
Yeah.
Did you see him? He's hanging sideways in his car. Yeah. He thinks he's done, and the spectators run over and flip him back over.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Yes.
This is the craziest sport known to man.
I'm going to tell you right now, if
they're jumping giraffes, they get flipped.
I'm going to tell you right now, if a moose or a mule deer came out of the wood line and shoulder checked one of these cars while it was flipped and it came back on its tires, that'd be legal.
They don't care.
No.
Keep going.
Yeah, get it going. If somebody, I don't know if it's as legal or not, so don't quote me on this one, but I feel like if the battery was dead, somebody came out with one of them portable chargers and from the fans and got them going again.
Craziest sport.
Yes.
This is the coolest motorsports. I'm going to have to get more into this because when I saw that, again, these guys think they're done. And I don't know if they're going to try to flip the car. I don't know because they're unhooking. And then the next thing you know, you kind of see the look of shock on this guy's face, and they flip back over, and he's like, okay. And they just start going. I was like, what is going on right now?
Here was my thing, though. You're laying there on your roof. You know, if you've ever watched these wrecks from cockpit view, and you can hear them in there going, oh. Right?
Yeah.
I have a feeling if I'm sitting there and I'm, upside down in the car, I'd probably be ticked off. I'd probably be like, no, guys, seriously, you don't have to do that.
I'm ready. I'm
done for the day.
Everything hurts, and I want to go get a drink.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
everything. This is no good.
Yeah, this is not going to happen. So anyway, it was very good. So we do have Finland coming up next. I'm pretty excited about that. And we only have 5 rallies left this year. So
wow.
We'll finish out in Japan. Nobody's favorite, but it is what it is. So also moving away from rally and moving into GT World Challenge and GT4 Europe, I'm going to kind of combine them here because they really don't have a race this weekend. But next weekend, my birthday weekend. It'll be the 24 Hours of Spa, which is one of the most celebrated motorsports events of the year worldwide.
In case you're wondering how excited Jay is about this, remember, it's his favorite track.
Yeah.
And he loves endurance races.
Yes.
And it's on his birthday.
Yes.
He told me he was going to try to stay up all night and watch every bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably pass out here and there, but I will watch quite a lot of it.
That's crazy.
Well, man, it's Spa, and, you've seen the F1 races at Spa, and you can't come out of that track unscathed.
No.
We're going to have 66 cars going through the Eau Rouge and Upper Radion. So
if anybody out there doesn't know what I'm talking about, doesn't know what we are talking about, I'm going to use English on this podcast. Okay. Look up Eau Rouge.
Yeah.
And just Eau Rouge Spa. If you just type that in YouTube, look it up. Because it's not normal racing.
No, it's not.
It's downhill a little bit, a little right, then a little left, and then it's straight uphill.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about, I wonder what the elevation change is there. It's got to be dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something crazy because the whole rest of that lap, that next part of the track, that sector, if you will, you're up. Remember, because I know when we're racing, you're always like, "Where are you?" or "Where are you?"
You're coming down the mountain.
I'm like, "I'm on the other side of the mountain now."
Yeah,
right. So,
And it's the back half of the track. I mean, as much as I don't like it, it's not because the track's not beautiful and wonderful. It's because I'm terrible at it virtually. But it's you kind of crest this mountain, and then you just ski down it basically.
Yeah, that's exactly what you
back and forth skiing.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful track.
Yeah,
beautiful track.
But looking forward to it. Again, 66 cars. It's running from 28 to 31 July. You can watch it on YouTube. You can download the GT World Challenge Europe app for your phone or for Android or Apple and watch it there if you'd like. It's going to be a really cool race.
I will definitely catch some of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Now, GT World Challenge America and GT4 America, they are racing this weekend.
Where are they at?
At the Glen.
Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen.
I do like Watkins Glen.
It's such an iconic track, and it's a rough track.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because it's old, man. It's been there forever. The GT4 race, we have 34 cars and 68 drivers going in for 2 60-minute races, one on Saturday afternoon, one on Sunday. So anyway, yeah, and we got what looks like we got 3 series and 4 different ratings of driver that are going to be involved in this race. So that's looking pretty cool. The GT3, that's going to be it's 2 90-minute races for the GT3 race this weekend.
How many driver swaps?
Probably
one.
Well, it depends on the class, but the max that an AM driver can drive or a bronze driver is 65 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So
you got to have at least one.
And they got to have one swap. So you're probably looking at least one swap in each race, one pit and one swap in each race. And, they have a 7-weekend season. So I think we're 4 or 5 in, and it's going to end with the Indianapolis 8-hour for them. So that'll be in October. But
Indianapolis 8-hour.
Yes.
That'll be a cool race.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm guessing. I mean, can you imagine doing the oval course for 8 hours? How mind-numbingly boring.
I wouldn't
would that
even.
be?
I don't know if you've ever ran the road course in Indianapolis. I wouldn't even want to do it for 8 hours. It's not that interesting either.
Really?
No.
It's all on the infield, right?
Well, not all of it. There's a huge section of it that's got the oval worked into it, and then you cut down. It doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't transition well. I don't like it, but.
Not a fan.
I'm sure other people do.
Why do they not do a whole lot? And they may. And I'm going to say this because I know they do the 24 hours at Daytona. But does GT3 and all that run at Daytona?
I don't. I mean, it depends on if it rotates in.
Yeah.
It's like they're not running COTA this year, right?
Yeah, we were looking that up today because we thought it'd be cool to go down to COTA and they're not running it.
So I mean, could they work in the Daytona road course and have they? Yes. So to answer both questions, yes.
Okay.
So. But one thing I wanted to bring up before we move into like podiums and stuff, and this is just something for you to think about this week. It's a kind of a question of the week.
Okay.
And I got this because I was watching some past Spa 24-hour stuff, 20, 21, 20, lots of wrecks. And some of them had 6, 7, 10 cars involved in it. So here's my question. Has any race series ever had a wreck that took out every single car? And what do you do when that happens? Do you still let the clock go until the timer runs out? Or do they just say, race canceled?
I mean, that's never happened, right?
I mean, I think that it would have to transition from the big one to the great one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know if it's NASCAR. Has all 43 cars ever been involved in a pileup to where nobody could continue? Or do they pull a Ricky Bobby and let them get out of the cars and just run it out?
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
That's a good question, I think.
Because I can see that. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's far-fetched, but
is it?
You could see it happening at Talladega or Daytona. If it's going to happen somewhere in NASCAR, it's going to happen at one of those 2 tracks. Because you get all it takes is the leader go 3 wide, and all of those guys get squirrely and wreck. That's all it takes, and everybody's running into you. Now, where you get lucky is the Dale Jarrett that used to do, or the Tony Stewart that used to just hang in the back.
Right.
Well, they'll just stop that car. I'm done. I'm just going to sit right here and let y'all figure it out up there.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody around them. I can't imagine that happening, but what is the scenario? What happens?
So, but that's NASCAR. So, in F1, when they do a formation lap, when they get back around and start finish, they still come to a stop.
Yes.
And then the lights come on.
Yep.
In GT racing, when they do the formation lap, they'll get spread out. When they get back around to the start finish line, once the first car hits the start finish line, it goes green right there. So if you did a slow formation lap or you were goofing off, and
you could be in trouble.
Right. But you could potentially, if they were all tight bunched coming up there, you could potentially see all 66 cars hitting the Eau Rouge at 130 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And not in a single file either. So it just makes me wonder if that's ever happened. And if anybody knows that listens to this, and please hit us up on Twitter and let us know, or email us and let us know. Because
I'm interested now.
Yeah, me too. I haven't got to Google it yet.
You know, it seems like Formula One, it could happen pretty easily.
Yes.
Because you got all of them at a standstill.
Yeah.
And then there's almost always a hard rider left right after start finish.
Right.
So everybody heavy brakes. Well, I mean, with an F1 car, you could kick the wing. Like we said a couple weeks ago, you could kick the wing and damage that thing. So there's a chance you get everybody bunched in, you could damage a lot of cars.
Yeah. I just wonder if we've ever lost the whole field. So anyway, if anybody knows, like I said, hit us up on Twitter, email us.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, are we ready to move into podiums and back markers?
We are ready to move into podiums and back markers.
We're getting close to our time, Jay.
Yeah.
Ooh, got a little sound. Can you hear it okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's let you go first because I wasn't here last week. So,
okay, so my first podium, third place is going to be Lewis Hamilton. It's his 300th Grand Prix.
Okay, I forgot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really happy about that. My second podium is going to go to Red Bull because I think they have the best chance to win this weekend.
Really?
Which we didn't really have an F1 race, so some of this is just potential stuff. But
as fast as Ferrari's been, you think Red Bull's the favorite?
But I think Ferrari's got some component issues going into this weekend, and so I'm really worried. I'm going to root for Ferrari, obviously, but I got to be realistic.
Okay.
And my last one is going to be weird. It's going to be controversial, but it's Danny Ricardo because he could have buckled under, and most people would have, under the scrutiny he's been under for the past month. His Twitter message that he sent out, I thought it was well thought out and well done. So anyway, he's my first just for being able to deal with that pressure when a lot of people can't.
Okay.
And getting through and just holding his own.
I like it. So my podiums this week. Number 3, Christopher Bell getting his first NASCAR win and hopefully locked in the playoffs. Plus, he's an Oklahoma guy. I like that. He's from Norman, Oklahoma. That's kind of cool. My second podium is NASCAR. I love the fact that they're bringing in the Chicago Street Race. I think that's really cool. I think NASCAR fans are going to get to see something different. And honestly, it might help F1.
Yeah.
Because if they love it, well, I mean, they're going to talk about that they stole it straight from F1. So
yeah,
it's going to be out there. People are going to know. And if they love that race, maybe they check into F1. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then my number 1 podium this week is Jay and Eric, because they locked this thing down and had a wonderful episode last week. I hope everybody heard it. It was not on 105.1 ESPN Paris, but it was on our podcast, and it was fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
So if you get a chance to listen, go back to our podcast and listen to it, because it was a great episode. They did a great job. And I did have an honorable mention, Bubba Wallace. Just really happy for him.
Yes.
Had a great week. It's time. I'm glad he got a little bit of the monkey off his back.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving into back markers. So let me get that podium music off there. And hold on, I'm going to go first. If that's okay. Can I go first?
Do it, please.
Because I only have one.
Okay.
Because I wasn't here. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of, and so I only had one back marker this week, and that was Brad Keselowski and Austin Dillon. Act like professionals. You guys are professionals. You're world-class race drivers.
Right.
Act like professionals. That's the only thing. I think it just gives NASCAR a bad name when you got two guys acting like idiots on the backstretch and a safety and a caution. Yeah. That was my only back marker. That's all I had.
All right. So my back markers, my third one is Yuki Tsunoda, because so do you understand what I'm saying? And most people would, I would hope, but he's not necessarily one of my favorite drivers, but he's one of my favorite characters in F1.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a cool character.
He's a good dude.
And a lot of the other drivers really have fun with him. You know, at first they were making fun of how tall he was, so I felt like that was, or not tall he was, but you know, now, you know, Danny Rick's got a decent relationship with him. Him and Gasly seem to get along really well, and some of the other drivers too. So really upset that he might be out of his seat, even though that was just rumors. My second one is Zach Brown, because, man, listen, you run a world-class organization. You came into a team that was struggling, and you really picked it up. So tons of great stuff. 9 out of 10, but dude, that 10 out of 10 is quit being so cryptic. Lay it down.
Be transparent.
Yeah, you guys get paid way too much money to not say this is my driver for 2023, or it's not.
Yeah, or just, I mean, hey, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
And take the pressure off your boy, man. You're expecting him to perform, and then you guys are just letting it hang out there and letting people say stuff. Close them down.
I lost a lot of respect for Zach Brown with the whole when he walked back his comments.
Yeah.
Because he was very clear what he meant, and he walked them back a month later. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
it's
hijack
fine.
your back markers.
No. My last back marker is NASCAR because,
wow, I had him on the podium and you got him on the back markers.
well, the reason I do, and here's the thing, I actually enjoyed the Quaker State 400, the one we talked about in the episode I did with Eric. But this week, I could have cared less.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't give me anything worthwhile to latch onto. And granted, there's a lot of stuff out there that I like that a lot of people don't, and I ended up, really embracing that. But normally, at least I still look into it, right? And
Yeah.
I just didn't even, I was like, whatever, man, I'm done.
Got you. Great attitude to have, Jay.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Okay, so something just a little bit different right now. So if you're listening to us on a podcast or you're listening to us on 105.1 ESPN Paris, we talk a lot about a NASCAR and Formula One.
Right.
And World Rally. But, if you're out there listening to us and you race on a dirt track,
yeah,
or you like to drag race, or you race on an oval somewhere, and you want to talk to us about it, this will be a good time to hit us up on Twitter.
Right.
At ChadH610
and JNeil729
or fuel_pod or pod_fuel.
Yeah.
Or you can email us at coxwangracing@gmail.com. And we would love to have you on to talk about it for a few minutes. We would love to come watch you race.
Yeah.
We would love to just be out and see that. And another form of motorsports, especially, locally around here, there's a lot of tracks.
Yeah.
And we could get out and see that stuff. So, yeah, if you're out there and you want to talk about your form of racing or what your team is doing, we would love to have you on to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think that would be cool. Jay has been wanting to do that for a while. So I think it would be neat to get to see that. So if you're listening to us on ESPN Paris 105.1, I got to remember the ESPN Paris 105.1.
Yes, of course.
We'll be on every Saturday, 9 a.m. And if you're listening to us on the radio, go to our podcast.
Right.
We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google, Amazon, anywhere you want, and catch up. Listen to all the past episodes. So, because a lot of times we talk about things we talked about before, and you'll know what we're talking about now.
And we do have a few bonus episodes that aren't on the radio.
Absolutely. And we're going to continue to do that.
You're right.
And if you want to support our show, that's where you can do it. If you want to help us out monetarily, you can go there and help us out.
Yeah.
So we can keep doing this stuff. And so when you go to Apple, that's the one I know the best, so I talk about it a lot. There's 3 little dots up there. You can just touch those, hit follow the show, automatic downloads. That helps us out a lot.
Right.
And then if you want to learn a little bit about our alter egos, Cox and Wang,
right,
and a little bit about Formula One, we race a virtual season on our PlayStations online with F122.
Right.
So you can follow us on Twitch there. Mine's ChadH610.
And I'm GMJ729.
And we talk about like race strategy. We talk about DRS. We talk about some different stuff. So you can learn a few things if you want to come on there and hang out with us. You can get on the Discord. I never remember the Discord.
It's just Fuel Pod.
So get on and I mean we're 2 guys working a regular job,
Yeah.
So we're definitely looking for reasons not to be working while we're at work. So if you want to get on Discord and talk to us, tell us about your racing, how we can contact you. If you want to get on there, we will love the opportunity to take a few minutes to talk to you for sure.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Jay, I think that's it.
That's it, man.
Guys, we will see you next week, next Saturday.
9
a.m. ESPN Paris 105.1.
Yep.
And then our podcast loads usually every Thursday morning. So you'll see us next week.
All right.